The die-hard tragedy of a phone giant. Over a decade ago, there was a killer phone company in Silicon Valley. Its phones had physical keyboards and business folks went crazy for them. At its peak, it held nearly half the business phone market. Then touchscreen phones came out. Everyone was snatching them up, and this company's sales dropped for 3 straight quarters. It lost almost half its market share. Logic says they should have pivoted, right? But the CEO banged the table and said, "Dump another $200 million into fixing our old phone's battery life. Consumers just haven't realized how good physical keyboards are. They'll come around once they get used to them." What happened next? A year later, the company's market value crashed by over 70%, and it got bought out for a song. This kind of thing happens all the time. You lose money on stocks but refuse to sell, so you get deeper in the hole. A project goes nowhere, but you keep pouring money into it anyway. You stay in a dead-end job just because you've been at it for years. This is what we're talking about, the blind donkey effect. It's like a donkey with its eyes blindfolded. Even if there's a pit up ahead, it won't turn back just because it's already walked this far. What is the blind donkey effect? Let's break it down in plain English. Simply put, when you've sunk time, money, or effort into something, like studying a major you hate or running an unprofitable project, you can't bear to stop, even when you know continuing will only make things worse. Why? Because you keep thinking, "I've put so much in already, quitting would be a waste." But this is nothing like persistence. Persistence means you know you're on the right track, you're just dealing with temporary hurdles. The blind donkey effect? That's when you see you're wrong, but you keep pushing anyway. At its core, it's fear that all your past efforts will go to waste. Why does this happen? 2 human instincts are to blame. Nobody wants to eat their words. Take that CEO, for example. He greenlit the project in the first place. When it went south, he'd make up all kinds of excuses to tell himself, "Just hold on a little longer." Admitting he was wrong would be embarrassing. It'd make him look unprofessional. So he'd rather tough it out. Losing hurts more than gaining feels good. For example, losing $100 stings way more than finding $100 feels good. The money and time you've already put in? It's like something you already own. Quitting feels like losing that, and that pain makes you gamble. Maybe I can get it back, instead of accepting I already lost. The blind donkey effect in real life. Scenarios you might recognize: businesses clinging to old ways until they hit a wall. The phone company we mentioned earlier? That's BlackBerry. Back in the day, its physical keyboard phones were huge. Then Apple launched touchscreen phones and everyone switched. But BlackBerry kept doubling down on physical keyboards. When sales dropped, it didn't even consider making touchscreens. Instead, it spent hundreds of millions optimizing its old phone system. In the end, nobody bought its phones anymore, and its market share plummeted from 50% to less than 3%. Now you barely hear about it. Motorola was another one, once the top dog in phones. Then Android took off and Google came to it with a deal. Use our system, and your phones will sell way better. But Motorola said, "Our own system is safer," and refused to partner up. Meanwhile, other Android phones like Samsung's blew up. Motorola's phones collecting dust, so it had to sell its phone business to Google. Individuals, the more you lose, the more you double down. There's a famous Wall Street investor named John Paulson. In 2018, he thought a new energy company was a winner and put $1.1 billion into it. But then the company got caught falsifying data, its stock crashed, and Paulson was staring at a huge loss. A normal person would cut their losses, but Paulson said, "I've researched this company for 5 years. I can't be wrong." He dumped another $500 million in. Finally, the company got delisted. Paulson lost $1.2 billion total. All his clients pulled their money, and his fund shrank by more than half. This happens at work too. Take Sarah, an ad exec in New York. She did traditional print ads for 15 years. Now clients all want digital ads, things like short videos and live streams. Her projects kept getting rejected, and her company started slashing budgets for the traditional ad team. But Sarah kept saying, "I've built 15 years of experience and connections in this field. Switching would mean starting from scratch." She refused to learn new skills. When the company laid people off, she was forced to switch careers. By then, she was 3 years behind her peers and couldn't even land a job. Public projects, keep going just because you spent money, end up with a burden. A coastal U.S. state wanted to build a high-speed maglev train in 2015. The plan was $20 billion to connect 2 major cities. But right after construction started, people pushed back. Our state doesn't have that many people. This train's tickets will be 3 times more expensive than regular high-speed rail. Nobody will ride it. It'll definitely lose money. And we already have good high-speed rail. We don't need this. But the state government said, we've already spent $5 billion. If we stop now, that money's gone for good. So they kept building. By 2020, they'd spent $32 billion total. But barely anyone rode the train, and it lost $1.1 billion a year, becoming a huge financial drain. The worst part? The state was supposed to spend money on improving schools and hospitals, but had to cut that funding to pay for the train. Another city spent $800 million in 2019 on a smart traffic system, saying AI would cut down on traffic jams. But as soon as it launched, it fell apart. During morning and evening rush hour, traffic lights went haywire and commute times got 40% longer. Citizens and experts suggested, pause it first, fix it, then use it. But the city government said, we've spent so much, quitting would be a waste. Instead, they dumped another $300 million into rolling the system out to more areas. In the end, it didn't fix traffic at all, and maintaining it eats up 15% of the city's annual budget. Everyone complains it's a wasteful project. How to avoid the blind donkey effect. 3 simple tips. The key thing to remember. The time and money you've already spent? You can't get that back. Don't let it mess up your future choices. Here's how to put that into action. Stop fixating on how much you've put in. Start asking, is it worth continuing? For example, if you buy a movie ticket and realize it's a terrible film 30 minutes in, don't force yourself to finish just because you paid for it. Leave early. Use that time to do something better. At work, have someone unrelated to the project, like an outside expert, evaluate it, so the person in charge doesn't defend their baby. When making personal choices, ask a friend, what would you do if you were me? It helps you step out of your own stubbornness. Set a stop-loss point in advance, and stick to it when you hit it. If you're buying stocks, decide ahead of time, I'll sell if it drops 20%. Don't wait until it's down 50% and you're too scared to let go. For a project, agree. If there's no progress for 2 months, we'll pause. For a job, if you've been there 6 months, learn nothing and see no future. Don't drag it out. This stop-loss point will save you from a lot of pain and keep you from sinking deeper. Don't be scared to say, I was wrong. A lot of people get stuck in the blind donkey effect because they're afraid others will judge them for being wrong, or they can't accept they messed up. But nobody's perfect. The key is to fix it when you're wrong. As management experts say, the scariest thing isn't making a mistake, it's keeping on doing it when you know it's wrong. If a company sees its old products aren't selling, it should launch new ones fast. If you realize you hate your major, switch early. Turning around in time is way better than toughing it out until the end. Don't be a blindfolded donkey. At the end of the day, the blind donkey effect is about holding on to the past and ruining the future. You might keep going because you've spent time or money, but the more you go, the more off track you get, and the bigger your losses. So many choices in life are like this: a dead-end job, a bad relationship, an unprofitable project. Don't refuse to let go just because you've already put in the work. Stop when you need to, pivot when you should. That's the smarter move. After all, what we want is to get to the right place, not to prove we never took a wrong turn. Don't be a donkey with its eyes blindfolded. See the direction clearly and turn around when you need to, so you don't drag yourself into a pit.